In this video, we're going to be looking at Microsoft 365 Copilot chat agents. Hello, my name is Sally Hodgson. I'm Head of Training at Wavenet Education.
Hello, I'm Karen Oliver and I'm a training consultant with Wavenet Education. Having experienced Copilot, I didn't think it could get much better in terms of AI. It was doing everything I needed and I was getting better at thinking through my prompts to get everything done. And then I played with agents.
Agents are brilliant. They're going to be revolutionizing your life and your teaching. And we're going to have a look today at what you can use them for, how you create one, and the different ways that you can build it into your sessions.
Agents are a layer on top of Copilot. You can use them to put source material into your chat rather than just having it choose straight from the web. And it means that you can really tailor the choices that you make for the projects that you're doing. So what are agents? Well, from a teaching perspective, you can have all sorts of different types of agents to do various different tasks for you. You can have a learning agent. Maybe you've got something you're going to be teaching and you haven't taught it for a long time and you need to brush up on it. You can create a learning agent to help you to learn all that information before you teach it to your children. You can have an IT agent. Maybe you've got something that you need to do to understand with your computer and you just want to ask a quick question and it can really help you to understand that. Maybe a writing agent to help you draft things very specifically, taken from very specific sources of information, maybe a particular website or two that you want to use. And you can have a teaching agent for maybe setting up lessons for a very specific age group or with children with very special needs. There's all sorts of different ways you can utilize this and taking information from the web to really funnel it down and make it useful for the task that you have.
And you can make them for anything you like, can't you? So I like them sort of thinking from an admin perspective. I've done one and you can make them with policies. So if you've got a load of policies and you want to go and look something up, you can make an agent just with those policies in. So if you've got a staff member that wants to come along and find out some information, you can send them to that agent, which is linked in with all the policies that you've got, and they can just search in the agent. So it's almost like rather than me coming and asking you a million questions about what it is that we want to talk about, you can just build an agent, send people to go and have a look at it because you've built it with the information that is in there pre-purposed for them to be able to go and find that on their own back, which will save a lot of time.
Yeah, it's a bit like having a sort of an expert, if you like. So from a teacher perspective, I was thinking about differentiation. I was thinking if I had a child in my class who had dyslexia and I want really up-to-date information, expert backed, then I can go to a website, add that into my agent, and everything that I create, I can actually say, can you, take this information just from this website? So I know that it's good quality. It's not just taken, off the internet, which can be, hit and miss sometimes. It's taken specifically from that resource so that I know that it's good quality.
And you can limit where people are going using the agent rather than just putting something in Copilot, going off, it will find anything. It's not evidence-based sources. You can make sure that that agent has all the information that you want them to look up in that agent so that it's secure and it's safe. You send out a link and you can just off you go and have a look at it. So we're going to show you how to build one and how else you can use them.
So let's have a little look at how you can build an agent. You'll notice I'm in class Teams, and along in my ribbon of tools there, I've got Copilot. So of course I can use that for my lesson plans and all sorts of other wonderful things that you can do with Copilot. But now I'm going to have a look at agents. Over at the side here, I've got Get Agents. And in fact, if I go to that, you will probably find some which are pre-built and you can have a little look at those. And, the availability of those will depend on your subscription. They're really fantastic.
But let's have a way to get started, aren't they? To have a look at and see how they're built, what they're used for, because the information is already in there pre-built. And you can also use those templates to add your own information in and just start with that before you build your confidence up to be able to completely make your own. It's a really good starting point.
And there's things like, there's a visual creator for creating graphics, for example, maybe a learning coach or writing coach, lots and lots of different ones to have a little look at. But what we're going to have a look at now is create an agent. So under Get Agents, I've got Create an Agent, and it will bring up a new box for you. Now, at the top here, I've got two tabs. One says Describe, and one says configure. Now, in the describe tab, this is where you can use natural language, okay? This is where you kind of think, oh, what do I want to create? What do I want my agent to do? And you can literally write it as I'm speaking, as you're speaking at the moment. If you go to configure, that's the little bit more technical. It's not massively more technical, and we'll look at it in a minute, but it's where you can really hone down what you want your agent to do. So just for now,
Start describing, can't you, and put the first bits in and say, right, this is what I want to build. This is how I'm going to build it. And then you can refine it and configure after.
exactly. So I'm going to put in here a prompt. Yeah, there we go. And in this case, I want to build a Key Stage 2 history lesson. So, I want to have an agent to help me really sift through that information there and to have a good website. So I'm going to start off with that. And what Copilot will then do is help me just to tailor down before I create that agent. It'll ask me questions and things because, I'm not an expert. It might sort of, just give me a few prompts. So it's even suggested a nice name for me. So I'm going to say, yes, that's a great idea. I can add all sorts of other information into here. And so it's got a few websites that suggest as well. In fact, I've got some other ones that I will add later. And in fact, I'm going to add a few more details that I want my agent to think about into there.
So you can really refine it down, can't you? And make it do really very, very intricate things and
Really good.
hone it rather than just, as we were saying, go off to Copilot, find some resources. This really does bring it all into one place, doesn't it?
It does. And it suggested some really good websites for me. In fact, I've added another one in there as well that I'd like to use. And it'll ask me for more specific details if I want to. And I can, tailor that to my heart's content. And you can even go back and edit it afterwards.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking, actually, it's not quite working for me, you can go and edit this afterwards.
And even once you started using it, you can go back and refine it, can't you? And think, oh, well, actually, that didn't work very well. I'm going to remove that. And I've found this resource now and I'm going to add that in instead.
It's a nice fail-safe for us non-techies. And if I go across to configure, so I'm going to have a little look at that now. This is where I can change the logo if I want to. I can change the name of my agent. It's got a description there. And in fact, what Copilot Studio has done is break all of these things down so I can go out and see it. So here I can add other URLs if I want to. There's another website that I want to take information from. And in fact, where I put it into the Matcha chat, it's actually got my website in there already. So it's already put it into there. This is really lovely here. The capabilities, this is where you had something called a code interpreter, which I thought sounded a bit technical to start with, but it's where it will help you to create maybe an interactive quiz or an interactive graphic. It uses Python, so it's, it's not really fancy, but, it's really, really clever. And in fact, an image generator as well. So you can build those things into your agent. And under here, it's got some suggested prompts. So those lovely boxes that come up on the side, it'll pop those into there, and you can just click on those. So it makes it much quicker.
So if you're trying to compose one of these for a specific lesson or a specific topic, and you want to sort of give your pupils some prompts as to what they should be asking, this is where you add those in.
Exactly. So this is where I can, put in, is this content suitable for Key Stage 2? It's already started to do that for me. And in fact, in here now, I can even test it out if I want to and just make sure I'm really happy for it before I actually create the agent. So into here, I'm going to put a prompt just to test it out. And I'm going to put it into there. So plan my lesson for Key Stage 2 history, the Tudors, and there we go. It's going to hopefully think about that for me. There we go. And it's coming out with all sorts of things from the national curriculum, which is what I wanted to do. And it's obviously taken some information from the website as well. So that is what that looks like. So we're now going to go to create. And it takes a little time to do that.
But you can share this with your colleagues, can't you, in school? And if somebody else is doing a similar topic to you, you can say, well, I've made this resource.
Yes. So this is something that you can make for them so you can share it. So it's a good management. In fact, there's a link created there. And in fact, you can change the share settings there.
So then you could put it, if you've got like a shared teachers area on the Teams, you can put it in there for everybody to use.
Only one person has to do it.
Yeah.
And it's exactly. So I'm now going to go to my agent. And oh, there we go. I've got my history planner sitting at the side. And in fact, I've got some other ones there as well. So I've got one, dyslexia differentiation, for example, which would just tailor all that, which is really nice. And there we go. That's my history planner set up and sorted. It's really good.
And you can come back to that and you can add more resources in as you find them. And if other people are using it and they want to add resources in, they can just send over the result.
Absolutely. What I have got here, which is really nice, is the interactive quiz. I should show you this because this is really clever, the code generation. So I'm just going to put prompts into there. And there we go. Please make an interactive quiz. I've just done it in my normal voice, and it will take a minute or two to generate that, and then you'll be able to open it up and have a go.
It's so quick, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's done a quiz there for me.
As with all these things, though, do check that they are correct, because obviously it's still learning. But most of the time, I rarely see it come up with something that's not correct when doing these things.
Yeah, it's really clever. So there we go. It's going to come up with my my sources there. There's my quiz there, and it's got a drag and drop timeline, and it's also got multi-choice questions as well, and it'll auto-correct it for you, so auto-mark it.
Wow, that's really good, isn't it? Yeah, I'm impressed. So you can build those agents with a free license that's already available on your education tenant. If you wanted to upgrade your license to the paid for license, you can then access the agents that you've built within the Microsoft 365 apps. So if you went into a Word document, you can have a look at the top right-hand side, and you can from there find Copilot, click on Copilot. You've got all the Copilot within that document that you can use, but then you can also click on Get Agents, and your agents that you've pre-built will come up within that document. So you can access it straight from within the 365 apps. So anyone can use an agent, anyone can build one. Teachers will use it differently from support staff. It will use it differently from the admin office. You can build them for anything. So they're so usable by all sorts of different people for different things. I've used it in a different way. You were using it even in everyday lives that we're building things, but it's really good for having information that you want to share, but you want that information to be sort of tidied up, secure, and just accessible. Like you were saying, it's good for questioning, finding information from a specific area of documents, resources, and URLs.
And it's one of those things, of course, that you can use it to really focus down the knowledge that you want. And of course, it's within your 365 account. So it means it's safe and secure. It's not used to train any language models or anything like that. It's very safe and secure. And it's that layer on top of Copilot as well. So it means that you have those extra added functions that are really tailored to what it is that you want. And of course, you are always in control. You're the expert, and always check through the information as you read through it.
So that remember, when you're going into Copilot, top right-hand corner again, there will be the little green shield. And that little green shield means that that is a protected account and that information is not being used anywhere else. Always remember to log into your school account before you start creating agents or you start using Copilot, and that will show you the little green shield that is secure. So don't be afraid to go and have a look at these agents and just have a play with them, because you'll be amazed at what you can actually get from them.
And it's one of those things, once you start creating one and you start having fun with it, you really want to try something else because you will think of another job that you think, actually, this agent will be brilliant for that. Thank you for joining us this time.
And remember, if you do need any support in building agents or using any AI within your teams, then just give us a shout at Wavenet.